Matthew and Carrie were always interested in hearing what the grown-ups had to say, while the other kids ran off to play. They couldn't care at all what was going on. Matt and Carrie would be there, and then all of a sudden, Matt couldn't stand it, and he'd have to ask a question, which is when the grown-ups noticed that Carrie and Matt were there and threw them out.
I'd been working on just playing this piano part, and I was sitting in Mary's living room playing this chord. Matthew was sitting on the couch with the guitar in his hand. He was just chilling, and he started, while I'm playing this piano, he starts playing this. He's playing the saxophone part on the guitar, just like note for note, just relaxing. I was like, Matt, that's amazing. He was like, what?
Happy birthday, Matt. If everything's going properly, I'm in Africa biking. Otherwise, I would love to have been at your party. My story is remembering when we were traveling in Europe. We were staying with Antje, the young au pair who had been here, and she was back in Germany. And you were rifling through her purse, and you grabbed out what looked like a little toy gun, and you thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and you just pointed at me and tried to pull the trigger. And did not shoot me, but she screamed from across the room, because even though it looked like a little toy gun, it had exploding head bullets, and so it would have actually done a lot of damage. You apologized afterwards, you learned your lesson, but I remember that story well, and I remember you also losing your wallet, I think more than once on the train. And so I have a picture, which I couldn't find, of you at a train station walking like this with your wallet just on the ground behind you, just trying to encapsulate all those events. So anyway, happy birthday. See ya.
So Matt, I remember, I'm not sure I remember this correctly, but I'm pretty sure I do. We were driving cross country. I was going to California, and it was you and me and Ann and my mom and Carol and Pat. And we were camping in a campground on a lake, and directly across the lake was a nuclear reactor plant. It was very nice. It was late one night, and I remember somehow Pat and I had dared you to kiss Anne while she was asleep. And she was sleeping in the back of the Volkswagen bus, I think. We were in the tent, I think. And you opened up the back, and you leaned in, and just as she woke up, and she looked up at you and said, "What the hell are you doing, Matt?" And your face turned red, and you ran out of the back of there, and Pat and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Robert, is that true?
Yes.
Well, that's the first time I've heard, and I was the chaperone.
That's right.
Okay.
One of my fondest memories of Matt as a kid, and the story I'm telling, he was in the 5th or 6th grade, so he was like 11 or 12. But Matthew was always cheerful, but full of questions. Had an insatiable curiosity and enthusiasm for learning. So much so that Richie Sharrett once famously put him on a question budget. I don't know whether he met the budget or not. But in any case, I remember that when I was trying to answer one of his deep questions, I could see that Matt was already formulating 5 or 6 new deep questions that were occurring to him as he was listening. In any case, the story I'm going to tell concerns the headquarters of the American Nazi Party, which was located in Arlington and not very far from this very house. Now, Matt knew a lot about Nazis, even in the 5th and 6th grade, from his grandparents and from his mom, who would lecture each year at HB. So Matt decided to go directly to the American Nazi headquarters and ask whoever was in charge, why did they hate Jews? Unfortunately, I wasn't there, so I don't know what the answer is, but I'm sure that Matt was very friendly, and thank heaven he got out of there unscathed, and maybe he'll tell us what he found out. In any case, happy birthday, Matt. Bye.
We're telling stories about you, all the folks that know you, and the one that I particularly like happened when we were driving across country, you and we decided to stop in Vegas. I think neither one of us had been there before. And you probably remember this, so we went into one of those casinos. There was a big dance floor. There was a live band playing. Nobody was dancing. And the area was surrounded by sort of older couples sitting on tables that were slightly elevated around the dance floor. And it was really good music. It was perfect dancing music. So I said, Matt, let's dance. And so we did, remember? So we're dancing, doing not jitterbug, but you know, that together kind of dancing. And you swung me around, and then I came back around, and then your arm somehow met my face and you punched me, I'm sure by mistake. And I went straight down, and I looked around, and these older, I will call them now my age people, sitting around that dance floor looking really askance down at you and me, and I was in a hysteria of laughter. I think that was maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me in my life. So, with that note, just happy birthday, and let's have fun dancing tonight. But, you know, we got to be careful. Okay.
Okay, so we're young. We all go off to Florida to Disneyland, right? All right, so we're at our hotel at our Days Inn, which has this kind of castle-like playground structure.
Right.
And somebody decides we have to put on a play.
Yeah. So we decided that the only play we've ever heard of is Romeo and Juliet, for sure. Yes.
I was Romeo.
And then Matt was the French director.
Right.
Would like to scream, no, you're doing it all wrong.
And I'm thinking Matt assigned himself that role, right?
Yes, I think he just came up with that.
Yeah. And then...
And, of course, Keith and Pat, who didn't want to be involved, decided they were going to be the guards, and they were, like, basically inside the structure, the tower part of the structure.
Yeah, so all I remember is I'm down at the bottom, and you've taught me on my line. You've heard of Romeo and Juliet. I don't think I had ever heard of it. So I'm just shouting this line. You're up on that balcony thing. And then Matt comes out over and over yelling, no, you're doing it all wrong. And that's the play, right?
And that was the entire thing.
Yeah. And did we make Mom and Mary come out and watch that?
Oh, yes, probably multiple times. And then they had to applaud, sure.
Yeah. And I'm sure that Matt was the best thing in it.
Oh, absolutely. Which is the only reason we ever even remember it today, because he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Go.
So one day, Tom, our dad, and I, so we watched TV, the Olympics, and you had an Israeli athlete, and of running, and then before she did it, it had a lot of commercials.
It took a long time.
Yeah,
until she started.
Yeah.
So Dad fell asleep on this couch. He fell asleep, and then when the Israeli athlete started competing, so me and Talia we watched her score, and she got like a really good score. So we started cheering. We started clapping our hands and doing like we started cheering her. And then I woke him up because we cheered her. And when he woke up, he cheered with us immediately. He woke up and started clapping his hands immediately. And it was funny at the moment.
Okay.
מה עוד אתם רוצים להגיד לאבא?
Happy birthday, Mozart.
We love you?
We love you.
Yum to woof. Woof!
So when we were teenagers, Matt was the first one that I remember among us who had a car, which isn't saying a lot because the car was this old blue Datsun 510. I'm not sure if we can find a picture of it, but it was just about the most beat-up car you've ever seen. In fact, I think that Matt always had a really beat-up car because when we lived in San Francisco, Matt had this white Toyota Corolla that looked like it was held together with a bunch of baling wire and coat hangers and duct tape. But the original Matt car was that blue Datsun. And I remember this time we took it on a road trip. I think it was in college because we were going, I think, from Arlington maybe to Bryn Mawr or Philadelphia on a spring break or something. And this car, I couldn't believe we were trying to take this car that far. It kept making this like horrible sounds. The gears were always grinding, and it sounded like something was about to fall off, like the radiator was going to come loose. And I remember one time driving along, and I said, Matt, the car's really making a terrible sound. I really, really don't like that sound. And Matt, who was driving at the time, turned to me and said, yeah, Jeffrey, I don't like that sound either. You should turn up the radio. And that was pretty much a good summary of how Matt dealt with problems back then. Which was, you know what? It's an excellent attitude and one that served him well all these many years.
Hey Matthew, are you surprised? So Matthew, I want to tell you that when we met, you said that I talk funny, and I probably reminded you of Baba. And Matthew, you know what? You talk funny too. Happy birthday. What's the problem in what I said, Matthew?
You say it wrong.
What did I say?
You say serene wrap. It's called saran wrap.
But Matthew, that's the way I talk.
It's funny. It's cute.
Matthew, you also talk funny.
No, when I talk normal, everyone else doesn't understand nothing.
Talia, how does he say a toast in Hebrew? You know it's your own thing. Karich gvina cham.
Oh no! Here, we can just like this. We'll do one like this.
The serene wrap doesn't work?
No, it's half of the ball. So it's the...
But that's the best serene wrap I have. How do you say?
Serene.
I said it right?
Yeah.
What did I say before?
Serene.
I don't hear the difference.
Serene.
So I have to tell a story because I don't know why it's funny. And so, but there's the background. So as there was Matt, who seemed amazingly gullible, and there were the three Lynch kids, and we just thought that gullibleness was the most hilarious thing. And we also always had tons and tons of little pets. And then there was our mom, who is like the least squeamish person on the planet, kind of prides herself on never acting girly. In fact, she is known to have woken up with a tarantula on her chest and calmly told the owner of the tarantula to please remove it. So, having all that in mind, one of the gerbils escaped, and that was pretty normal in the house, and our mom saw it and called us to come get it, and that was that. But we had to tell Matt the story, and we embellished a little, and we told Matt that the gerbil escaped, and our mom found it in the bathroom, but she was so startled, she jumped on the toilet and started screaming, "Eek, a mouse!" And of course, Matt believed it. And we thought that was funny. But the best part was when he later saw her and was needling her about why she did that. And she eek a mouth. That, I don't know. The story just stayed in my head forever.
היי מאט, יום הולדת שמח בן 50 שלך. אני מקווה שתהנה החופש הגדול בוושינגטון ופלורידה. You know, I hear that within every 50-year-old, there's a 20-year-old wondering what the hell happened. Well, you're 50 years young, you're a great guy, and hope you have a great vacation, have a great time with your friends and family, and enjoying the States. I'll see you when you get home. You'll have to tell me how SBC compares to SLC. להתראות.
Hey, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
The big 50, man. We're proud of you. We're proud of you.
Very proud of you. And,
You've survived this far. You can survive a few more years, I guess.
Yeah, take it easy, and especially in the curves.
We love you, man, and Mazal Tov.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
I love you, Matthew.
Birthday, and have a good health, good happiness.
Hello, America.
Bye, all the family in the US.
You sing happy
Happy
Kulam,
birthday
kulam,
to
kulam.
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, Matt. Trying to say something to celebrate your birthday took me months of preparation. Then I realized that I could make a book out of it. So suddenly, I can share the story with you, as I will breach my publishing contract. The only thing I can reveal about the coming book and Matt's biography are the tentative titles: The Guitar Player, The Good Pal, Working with a Friend. Don't worry, Matt, know it. Father's name, an alternative Midnight Express story. Double T, double R, from San Francisco to Petah Tikva. The guy who knew route that minus N. We do not have tech support. We have Matt. And last, happy birthday, dude.